Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I am Nathan Fox, that's Ben Olson. We're the founders of LSATdemon.com and our weekly podcast, Thinking LSAT. We've got an email here from Chad.
Felicitations, Mason and Dan. What does felicitations mean? Is that like salutations?
It's like greetings, yeah, salutations. I guess, do people use that as a greeting? Felicitations. Words expressing praise for an achievement or good wishes on a special occasion.
Mason and Dan, LMAO. When I heard that people called you that, I just had to include it here. Okay, well, we'll go by those names for this episode. Longtime listener from the pod here, I'll be brief. Longtime listener of the pod here, I'll be brief. Subscribed to Live roughly a month ago after going through various tutoring programs with minimal success. My cold diagnostic, though it was untimed, was a 160, probably closer to a 154 timed, and in my short time with the demon, I have raised my score to a 167. I achieved this mainly through copious drilling and one timed section plus review daily. I have yet to take a full-length practice test. My scores above are from combined sections, though I aim to begin those soon. My question, in two parts, is this. Should I, and I apologize if this question seems presumptuous, be concerned about peaking too quickly if my pace continues as I'm registered for August?
Nah, no. You don't. This is it's a skills test. Like once you get good at it, you're gonna stay good at it. It's not like you're training for a marathon or whatever, and you have to like get yourself on some training cycle and peak.
Yeah,
There's no peak. I don't know.
No, it's totally true. It's so much easier to maintain than it is to make progress.
Yeah, once you learn these skills, you can practice just minimally, and the skills won't go away.
Yep. What advice do you have for converting a high 160 score into a high 170 score other than necessary assumption versus sufficient assumption? I appreciate all the work you do, Ben and Nathan. Hope to hear from you soon. P.S. Comma splice at the end just for a laugh from Nate.
We stopped busting balls on everybody's grammar a while back. We're just used to people writing sloppy emails these days.
Yeah, so. Chad, but we do see you like semicolons, which is definitely unusual.
Yeah. From high 160s to a high 170s, that's not the kind of thing that you can just get like quick tips about. I mean, the story that I always tell on the podcasts is when I see somebody in the high 160s and they're trying to break into the low 170s, when someone like caps out at 168, I often see them missing sufficient assumption questions or conflating sufficient and necessary assumption questions. They'll get the easy ones right, but they'll miss the harder ones. So that could be holding you back if you're in the high 160s, but that's not going to get you into the high 170s. That might get you into the low 170s. Then you need to also clean up all your other mistakes. So I don't know, Chad, what mistakes you're making. Where are you missing? Like what points are you leaving behind? And it sounds like you're doing all the right stuff. I just don't think I have other than the necessary assumption versus sufficient assumption thing, which is really common at the high levels. I could throw out one more hypothesis on reading comp. I would be willing to wager that you probably miss agree questions sometimes because you think that they're inviting you to speculate with which one of the following, it can be inferred from the passage that the author would be most likely to agree with which one of the following. And you go, ooh, I'm going to infer. I'm going to get in the author's head and I'm going to speculate. That's not what they're asking you. They're asking you what did it say in the passage. Any other things like that, Ben, that you think might tip the scales at the high level?
Yeah, I think that getting a study buddy, and you don't need to worry about someone scoring in the same range as you. In fact, if they're scoring lower than you, that's just more opportunities for you to turn around and try to explain things to them. And as you do so, you will make so many realizations, even on the easiest questions. It'll be question 4, and you'll be like, oh, yeah, well, you see. And then as you're explaining it, you're going to make a realization. You're going to see something that you didn't see while you did the question, while you reviewed it. You got it right while you did the question. You didn't even need to review it. So there's that. But then as you're explaining it to someone else, you see how the wrong answer that maybe you were tempted by, maybe they chose, was wrong for like 3 reasons, not just
Right.
one.
Right.
And then you're like, oh my God, that is such a horrible answer.
Right. Or you might have painstakingly eliminated a wrong answer based on, the second or third reason why it might be
Mhm.
wrong.
As opposed to the glaring, real
And you end up
solid
getting the
one.
question right,
Yeah.
but you actually missed the big one. And there's
Mhm.
like one big thing that makes that answer conclusively wrong.
Yeah. Yep.
And when you go through and explain it, you might realize, oh, yeah, okay, I didn't see that if I would have seen that the first time through, I would have much more confidently dismissed that wrong answer.
Mhm.
But explaining it to your study buddy might be the thing that actually gets you there.
Yep.
That's an excellent tip, Ben. I'm glad we got there. Anything else for Chad?
No, thanks for writing in.
Email daily@lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.